Anne-Catherine, Erlend, we're here in your house in Bergen. Thank you very much for having us. And you are both musicians. Anne-Catherine, you're a violinist.
Yes.
Erlend, you are a tenor singer.
As far as I know, I am, yes.
And you open your doors of your house to guests from Viking ships. So just tell me a little bit about that experience. What does a guest experience when they come into your house?
It's lovely. You spend 2 hours in that living room and you really get the relationship. We exchange, we speak, and we get close to each other. And after those 2 hours, everybody just leaves to wherever they come from, but something remains. They have a memory, hopefully a good one, and we have memories too, actually. They stay.
So you talk with them, you share a bit of your lives. I should point out, Anne-Catherine, you're not Norwegian. Where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland.
You're from Switzerland.
I'm Swiss.
And Erlend, you're from, not only you're from Norway, you're from Bergen.
I'm from Bergen in this very house.
So the guests, they come here, you chat, you talk, you have cinnamon buns, and you have coffee, and some music. Tell me a little bit about, let's start with you, Anne-Catherine, your musical journey. You told me earlier on that you had, at the age of 7, played violin with Yehudi Menuhin.
Yes.
So you obviously started pretty early.
I started when I was 4.5, because my father played the violin. And my mom, I have a sister who is 2 years younger than me. And when my mom was busy with my baby sister, she would give me my dad's violin on the bed so I could try to get some sound of it. And she told me it was the only way to keep me quiet for enough time to take care of my little sister.
And you've never thought about another instrument? It's always been the violin for you?
No. It could have been the cello or the piano. Whenever I met some resistance or had a crisis or something difficult that I had to surpass, I wanted to change. But my mom was clever. She wouldn't let me. She said, you continue for 3 months. And then, of course, I have overcome the crisis and would continue.
Tell me about your beginnings. Did you start singing from an early age?
Yes, I did actually. I was in the choir just in the church over there as a very young boy. And then, of course, going into the youth, I was not very cool. So I would play piano in the band for a while. And I went to high school with the emphasis on music. So I started singing again there, taking lessons. And they advised me to pursue singing professionally. So I started studying. And at that point, there was no looking back, actually. So first I studied at the Grieg Academy here in Bergen, and then I went abroad to meet Catherine.
With the bit of knowledge that I have about the world of opera, I've often heard people say that bad teachers destroy voices. You had presumably a pretty good teacher.
I had several good teachers actually, and well, I was lucky on one hand. On another hand, I followed some of the teachers that I wanted to learn from. Of course, it's a choice you have to make. The more you learn, you know what direction to go, and then so that's the reason why I went to Zürich to study with an American tenor who was teaching there.
Is Bergen a musical city? Would you describe it as a musical city? I feel it's quite a creative city.
Well, it is a very musical city. Right now we have the Bergen Festival, which is the biggest fine arts cultural festival in Scandinavia. Of course, we have Grieg. He was born and raised just on the hillside over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 10 minutes from here.
I didn't know that.
Yes, partly in downtown, but partly they had a summer residence just up there. Which, by the way, Ole Bull went to visit him and discovered young Grieg as a 15-year-old.
Oh, really?
It is said that the big star Ole Bull came riding on his white Arabic horse up to visit them and the family, and young Edvard Grieg was truly starstruck. But then after a while he calmed down and he was able to play for Ole Bull. And then Ole Bull said, you have such talent, you have to go to Germany to study composition. And that's how Grieg was discovered.
And these are two composers that you sing.
When we do our
Together?
concerts here, yes, we do some songs by Grieg and by Ole Bull, and you play a wonderful piece, the Maiden's Sunday.
Seta Jentens Søndag. So it's one of my favorites.
What is your repertoire, Anne-Catherine? What kind of, apart from Ole Bull and Grieg?
I really love Bach.
Yeah.
It's very dear to me. And as an orchestra musician, of course, I I love the symphonies, the big symphonies by Mahler and Brahms, but I also played a lot of opera in the opera orchestra, and there I got really fond of Verdi. It's, I think his melodies are just amazing.
Do you ever, just for the hell of it, switch over and start playing some, I don't know, gypsy jazz or something, or whatever you...
I'd love to do that.
Kind of thing. I mean, the violin's such a great...
It's
such
very
a great
versatile.
instrument, actually. I wish I could learn to play.
But when I go out of classical music, I want to dance. I don't want to play.
Can you dance and play at the same time? I don't know. I don't know.
So I could, maybe, but classical music is my home.
I think school, teaching music in school should be absolutely compulsory. Every child should be not forced, but pushed to learn an instrument, and not only for their own pleasure, but I think it's a great benefit to society as a whole.
I couldn't
Agree
agree
with any of
more
that?
with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and especially nowadays, because I think we all are used to very instant gratifications, like when we are playing the games, or just we can scroll on the screen, right? We can just go on, and we are not used to really stick to something and work on something to get it done. So it's easy in a way, but on the other hand, we never get this deep satisfaction of having worked for something and then being able to do it, and this discipline in a way,
Exactly.
but also this passion for something.
Yeah.
Because to develop a passion, you have to use your time over a long period of time for something, and then you really get this deep connection with something. And also the fact of listening to each other, the fact of dealing with different people, different opinions,
And expressing your emotions.
Yes. Yeah.
To take yourself back.
We see it with the little children, how they learn to focus, of course, which is something you can use in all other ways in life.
We certainly agree on the importance of teaching children music, but also it's the way it's taught. And I live in France, as I told you, and I know French friends of mine, they say, the way it's taught, it almost guarantees that you will not want to continue, because it starts with the theory, and I think it shouldn't. It should start with, let's learn a little tune. Let's learn, with the guitar, you can play 3 chords, you can play the blues. So that's how music, I think, should be taught. It needs to be well taught, doesn't it?
I agree. And I teach after the Suzuki method. It's a method also called the mother tongue method, because all the children all over the world know their mother tongue perfectly. There are no dropouts. Everybody learns it. So Shinichi Suzuki examined or analyzed how mostly mothers, right, parents teach their language, and the kids would listen to the language for at least 2 years before they even start to speak. So the children in the Suzuki method learn the pieces by ear. There is no music, no theory, no nothing. It's just the movement and the playing. That's why we can start very early. And then, of course, later on we learn. But it's this, and the joy of just picking up an instrument and play. That's why children come, right? They want to play.
Could you just tell me a little bit about Ole Bull, the man?
He was born and raised in Bergen, and it's said he played in the symphony orchestra at the age of 11, actually. So he started quite early, but of course he had to study more, and he went to Paris to study with a professor there, and that's where he started his great international career. And it is said he was as great as Paganini in his days.
Paganini, who people thought was possessed by the devil. He played so fast. A piece by Grieg?
Yes, there's many to choose from, but when we have our guests here, we talk around Norwegian culture and music history, and of course Ole Bull and Grieg are very essential to that part of the history. Peer Gynt is probably his most famous work, at least one of them, and then of course we have the music by Grieg, so that's a perfect combination. And so we do a song there from Peer Gynt when he tells about his travels, so the Peer Gynt Serenade.
Well, I think it's time for some music. But before we move to the piano and the violin, can you just tell me a little bit about what you're going to play for us?
I will play Sete Jentens Søndag, The Herd Girl's Sunday by Ole Bull. It's a wonderful, simple folk melody. And the first piece, actually, that you made me listen to when I came to Norway.
Oh, really?
Yes, on our car trip. So I have very deep affection for this piece.
Isn't that a beautiful tune? And after a full concert, he would give this as an encore, as an extra number, just to bring everybody down to the smooth, calm.
To make all the princesses fall in love with him.
Yeah, exactly. Ole Bull was actually very, very worshipped by the royals in Europe, the queens and princesses and baronesses. They would literally throw jewels after him, and that's how he got filthy rich. He has an island with a small castle just here outside of Bergen as well. But what is very fascinating is that he started the wave of Norwegian classical music. He said we have to cherish our own culture. So together with Grieg, he started making Norwegian classical music as we know it from the Romantic period today. And he started the first Norwegian theatre, where theatre was performed in Norwegian here in Bergen in 1851. And that is where he fetched young Ibsen from Oslo. He had Ibsen here to work as an apprentice at the theatre in Bergen. And already at that time, young Ibsen started writing plays. And I'm very sure he was inspired by Ole Bull when writing about Peer Gynt. So we'll present Peer Gynt's Serenade, which comes in the first act of Peer Gynt, where he tells about his travels into the world coming from the far north. However, Peer Gynt thinks he's a great poet. Of course, he is not, as you will hear. Then southwards, ever southwards bound, I sailed the salty sea, where isles with swaying palms are crowned. I ran my sturdy ship aground and burned it up with glee, and burned it up with glee. I leaped upon another ship with hump and hoofed feet. It foamed beneath my stinging whip like bird on highest branch's tip. I'm singing tweet, tweet, tweet. I'm singing tweet, tweet, tweet. Anitra, you're my every wish, sweet juice of palm, it's true. The finest cheese, the tastiest fish, is scarcely half so sweet a dish. Fair lady such as you, Anitra such as you, Anitra such as you. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is the most known melody from Bergen. I'm sure you know it all, and we have another one.
Everybody knows that one. And actually, Grieg in the Peer Gynt also writes another piece that is a folkloristic tune. In the beginning of the piece is a hulling, which is a traditional folk song, and it sounds like this.
Che bella cosa, una giornata e sole, un'aria serena dopo la tempesta, per l'aria fresca paraggia una festa. Che bella cosa, una giornata e sole, ma sole, che bello in o sole mio, sta in fronte a te, o sole, o sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte